Hello, and welcome to this week's Chatty Corner. There wasn't one last week. I don't know why. It just didn't happen.
Slacker.
Oh well. Um, yeah, the stuff that I wanted to do last week, we're going to be doing this week instead. Which is basically Fatal Frame 2 is properly finished.
Woo!
I had the full sending, and I fooled a couple of people, it seems. But yes, everything's up now, as it should be. All three endings are there, so that's that. And that's going to be the point of this week's thing. We're going to be doing a retrospective on that game and Let's Play and all of that. But apart from that, other updates I've got PlayStation All-Stars. If I don't forget to upload it again, will be hopefully up by the time this goes up. So there you go, and that will be the very last proper video of PlayStation All-Stars.
How do you feel?
That is weird. I've been doing it forever.
You have been.
Mhm.
I've been there, it's true.
Mhm. You've been doing the artwork, so.
I have been.
And the next Let's Play, of course, will be Tomb Raider 3.
Finally!
Yep, pretty much everyone unanimously voted for Tomb Raider 3 when I asked which Tomb Raider game people would like to see. That won't be going up soon because you're stealing me away.
I am.
Yep. So next
Taking
week.
him to America Land.
Next week I'm flying over there, and because of that, I don't see any point in starting uploading Tomb Raider 3 yet. Because then, you'll get 2 parts or something, and then nothing for 3 weeks. And I don't think that works out too well. I think it would be better if, when I come back, I'll start putting it up then.
Makes sense to me, because he doesn't, it's pretty obvious he doesn't have the same recording setup that he has currently.
So, yeah, I've started recording bits of that, and I've started researching. I've got a good way through my researching. I've done all of India and Nevada, and I've started researching the South Pacific Islands. Recording wise, I've done. By the end of this week, I'll probably have all of India done.
Woo!
So
And I'll finally be able to see how to properly do that jump at the first part of the level that always kills me. I've never actually played that game. I've only ever ran around the mansion and locked the butler in the freezer.
And, of course, if you saw the preview at the end of Fatal Frame 2, you will see that the first part will be in the mansion.
Woohoo!
Because I put that little thing which is basically the intro to that video. To when that house video goes up, I just copied it into Fatal Frame 2. So that's what's happening with that. I think that's all the updates I've got right now. Currently playing stuff. I'm doing the chronological challenge thing, and if you have been following my blog, you can see all the stuff that I've been playing so far. I'm on 1993, and I'm currently playing Sonic CD, which I'm convinced is called Sonic Chili Dog. It makes sense.
I keep telling you, there's a chain of restaurants over here called Sonic, so it works.
And what have you been playing?
I have been hopping between Minecraft, which I'm playing right now. I'm trying to get resources. I found a cool blueprint of a grand farmer's house, so I started replicating that, and the actual replication is almost done. I'm just modifying a little bit, I put a greenhouse on the roof and stuff like that. And finally built my port to the Nether that dumps me absolutely nowhere, so I'm all well, great, this is fantastic. And I've also been playing around with the Stonehearth Alpha, which is incredibly alpha, and I'm kind of giving it a break until the next patch because it's still really broken.
Yeah, I remember you having trouble trying to install
I couldn't even get it to work at first.
Uh-huh.
It's really persnickety with your settings on your computer for it to even launch. I had to update my drivers, and they're like, you can't just do the Windows update. You need to go to the manufacturer's website and get the things. And then I'm trying to fix the user settings because it wasn't recognizing that I had a 64-bit computer and just all this shit. It took me a half an hour, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. But I finally got to
Yeah.
work, and it definitely has potential, and I'm really looking forward to it. And it looks like there's going to have quests and stuff, so it's not just going to be about building. So maybe you and I could play it. Wink, wink. But
Mm.
yeah, it's still ridiculously alpha. Like, but they just got a shit ton of money from someone, like
Mm.
millions of dollars, and one of them's like a UK developer, so they're actually really surprised some UK developers supporting them or something. But yeah, I'm super pumped for that. And then I think this weekend we might be playing some Splatoon because I think both Splatfests happen this weekend.
I know the European one is, and I know there's a Japanese one again.
I think the US one happens this weekend too, because I follow them on Facebook or something. Like I like them, and it said, "Are you ready for the Splatfest this weekend?" And I'm assuming it's the American one, so
Hmm.
maybe we could get our Splat on. They did mention that there's going to be a new type of competition map now, like tower defense.
Yes, that's it's a new ranking mode. They did do a stream about it, but I didn't watch it, and I haven't like gone and looked it up yet. But
Sigh. Supposed to be a better Squid Kid than that.
oh yeah, I've just looked it up, and both of them are happening.
Yeah, I told you.
In fact, all three territories are having their own
I wonder how
Splatfest.
fast it's gonna break.
And I'm annoyed because like you have the easy choice. You've got cats versus dogs.
Yeah.
In Europe, we've got rock versus pop.
Mmm.
And I'm like, I listen to varying degrees of both.
Yeah. That is a
And
hard one.
predominant, I wouldn't say either of those genres is predominantly what I listen to. Like it's I listen to just a bit of everything.
You do.
And yeah, I think I
I'd
tweeted earlier. I was
probably
like, can I
lean
just be a
pop.
double agent?
I'd probably lean pop only because I like a lot of like Euro house stuff, and that can be kind of poppy.
Mm. I'm thinking of leaning that way as well, just because of how much electronic
Perfume.
stuff I like. There is that. But yeah, in Japan, they've got like apparently it's sponsored by some like noodle company.
I like noodles.
And apparently you've got a choice between red kitsune and green tanuki, which are apparently varieties of this particular cup noodle in
Well,
Japan.
if the green tanuki is like scallions or something, I'd be all over that.
So yes, the reason why we're doing it this week is the Fatal Frame 2 retrospective, just like I did with Tomb Raider 2 and Uncharted 3. So the big thing is, why did I redo Fatal Frame 2?
Why did you redo Fatal Frame 2?
Well, I did that thing I did the old one ages ago, which was obviously Slender Man themed, because both of us were watching a lot of sort of Marvel Hornets and stuff at the time.
Yep.
And I kind of liked all that, and I thought it'd be kind of experimental and interesting to try and incorporate some kind of storyline alongside the game. Problem is, it was a lot of work, and I kept losing track of where everything was, and just eventually just abandoned the thing without any real updates or closure or anything at all.
I was supposed to get like spirited away, or attempted to be spirited away, and then attack him with a chainsaw or something.
Yeah, and it never happened because I just So, and of course, when I came back after my long hiatus from Let's Playing, I thought it'd be nice to revisit Fatal Frame 2 because I like that game.
It's a good game.
It is a good game. So, but I thought I'll just do like a fairly standard Let's Play. Obviously, I put in the thing of doing all the Spirit List,
which is great.
So it was kind of fun doing that, even though I had to play everything twice. Although I also had to play the bit with Sai in Chapter 7 3 times.
Well, it's tricky.
Yeah, because I did a test run of it, because I was like, I'm going to screw this up if I don't do a practice run of it. So I did a practice run, and that was tense, because that bit is just, it's tense no matter how many times you've played the game.
Yep.
Then I had to do it again for the main playthrough, and then when I went to get the New Game Plus footage, I had to play through it again, although I didn't record it a second time, it was just the once I recorded it. The most terrifying part of the game, and I had to play it 3 times. It was also very interesting trying to find out the really weird ghosts that are on the Spirit List. the Western named ones.
Yeah, I remember you were struggling with some of them and like where they originated from.
It's actually more the Japanese ones, because I actually managed to find out who all the Western names were, because like it changes depending on the region.
Yeah.
So the European one just got generic ones, because I think maybe issues with copyright or something, or maybe there weren't many journalists in the UK who were willing to participate, or so, I don't know. The Japanese one, I get the distinct feeling that they were all people in the media as well, especially because one of them was specifically a drawing woman or something like that, and the description of her kind of describes her as working as an illustrator or something, so I figured that she was actually someone who worked in the media, and the rest of them all were as well. But I'd read about like Bill Donahue and stuff like that. I was like, that's a really weird name to put in this very Japanese game.
Yeah, it's kind of blatantly Japanese and takes place in a blatantly Japanese village. And then what's this Merkin doing around here?
But
over here eating his hot dogs.
But yeah, it was definitely interesting trying to find that out. I wish I'd been able to find information on the Japanese ones, but never mind. I'm glad that I managed to get all of the Spirit List as well.
Yeah, I definitely feel like Fail Frame 2 is a little bit more forgiving in terms of the Spirit List, the main exception being the Butterfly Chaser one, because holy shit, I spent an hour trying to get that frickin' one.
I was dreading that one, and that's why I deliberately put it in the New Game Plus recording, because I was like, I know this is going to take me a million tries. If I can get it in the main playthrough, then good, but I don't think it's going to happen. But then I think it took me 3 attempts, and I was like, how did this take me 3 attempts? And even then it still looks terrible.
I think it was just a wise choice to do in New Game Plus anyway, because you had the yukatas, and for whatever reason, they're a little faster when they were the yukatas.
Yep.
And you kind of went into it knowing about Butterfly Chaser, whereas when I played it, I was ignorant to it, and I was like researching ways to make it not bullshit. And then I found out about the yukata, and it helped immensely. So
I still found it funny though with that one, because I caught she'd gone completely, but I think there was like maybe a pixel of her foot was still like on screen, and that registered it.
I think the reticle's a little iffy at times, but in that situation, it played in your favor. Other times, Mayu's big head would be in the way, just ruining your life.
Yeah, there were the specific moments where I was like, I think in my notes I'd even put something saying, make sure to avoid Mayu.
Yeah, one of the earlier shots with Miyako.
Yep, that one was definitely one.
A couple of them, actually, can just get ruined by Mayu, because she's just like,
I want
to be in the way.
Yeah, there's the one on the stairs in chapter 4, I think, where the priest appears behind you. The specific note I've got for Stands Behind, which is the one with Miyako, is be quick and watch out for Mayu. So
she's your number one obstacle.
Yeah.
She's such a...
I think that's definitely something that I enjoyed doing throughout the whole Let's Play, was I noticed that my criticisms of Mayu just got ramped up even more, and I can't tell if I was just playing it for comedy or if I genuinely hate Mayu at this point.
Well, y'all have seen the end of the game now. She's kind of a terrible person.
Yeah.
And kind of is putting it lightly. So your criticisms of her are well founded.
Because I think it was you who pointed out to me about the whole what she says in the Saya fight and the backstory.
I'm a pretty big fan of the whole Fatal Frame series, and I was all like, oh, Fatal Frame, it's supposed to be really spooky, yeah? I'm gonna play this at night with my window closed and just totally scared the living shit out of me. And then I decided, okay, I'm gonna try this again. I'm gonna play it in the middle of the day with my windows open and it's nice and bright. By the time, I was a lot younger, so I think I'm exempt, kind of, for having such a reaction. But I was literally shaking.
Was this the first game?
Yes. I didn't even get past the prologue with Mafuyu. I was just like, ah! So
I know
I
when
literally no, I literally hid the game case behind all my other games because I didn't want to even see it. And then I let my uncle borrow it for a period of time, so it wasn't even in the house.
Mhm. Yeah, I didn't quite have the same reaction, but with the first game, I definitely like I would play a bit of it, like play like half an hour or something. Like
Mm,
I'm done now. I'm gonna put this away and I'm gonna play a bit 3 other games first,
yeah.
and then come back to it and play another half an hour of it, and then eventually, yeah.
But the way I
Um,
got back into it was I was babysitting at the time, and they did have internet access. So what I would do is I would go on like GameFAQs or whatever, and people would have plot analyses. Because I was still curious about the game, I was just at that point too much of a pussy to play it. And so I would read up on all the rituals, the plot details, all this stuff. So I was still really engrossed in the series. So what I ended up doing is I played the games so out of order. So I tried to play 1, that wasn't happening. I played 3, and then 2, and then 1. So I completely played them backwards, and then I would hop around doing New Game Plus and stuff. I wasn't a complete pussy after that. There are still times it would spook me because it's a really good atmospheric game. Especially the first game because they utilized the DualShock controller vibrations to mimic heartbeats and stuff, which did not help. But because I was reading all these analyses and stuff, like, and then the wikis started coming out for everything under the sun, and I was just looking up on different player analyses and things that they picked up on, and I found out, oh my god, there is dual dialogue going on during that fight, and oh my god, Mayu's fucking psycho.
yep.
Because, like, both of them, technically, Sai and Mayu, deliberately throw themselves down a cliff. Sai just
Yep.
doesn't maim herself in the process, so in a way, she's a little bit better off.
I
But
think.
they're both ultimately, like, they didn't want to be separated. Sai literally wanted to go through with the ritual because she's just meh. But Mayu's just like, I want to be with sister forever.
I think, like, from what I've read, the remake, like, goes into this even more. Like, they make it even more explicit.
Oh, yeah?
There's an ending where it's heavily implied that Mayo decides, screw it, I'm gonna strangle Mio. And then, like, it ends with, like, her just sitting in the great hall of the Kurosawa house with all the corpses around and, like, having Mio's corpse in her lap and she's just petting her hair.
Oh my god, she's so psycho.
Yeah, and there was something else. I think there is like an explicit scene as well, which indicates, yeah, that it's kind of subtle in the original version of the game,
Yeah.
but in the
Like,
remake,
I didn't even
believe,
know until I started researching.
I think in the remake they kind of just they straight up say, yeah, oh, yeah, she did it deliberately.
Probably because there were plenty of people that were like, what? I thought Maya just fell. No, she's psychotic. And it's kind of interesting in that the second game is the first to have one of, like, the main protagonist frontline characters to literally be just batshit insane. It was a pleasant, I don't know if pleasant's the right word, but it was just an interesting change of the dynamic in the games, because all the other times you're just like, oh, these people are crazy for doing these crazy rituals, and yeah, they're all batshit crazy and they shouldn't be doing them, or just don't build your house there like you said.
Yeah.
But in a twisted sense, they're doing it for the greater good, because you see what happens when it doesn't get done. So you can't really necessarily judge them completely, but then there's this anomaly, which is Mayu and Sai, where it's just like, wow, even without that balance being held, you literally bred crazy people.
In terms of Mayo as well, like, I made the continuous jokes about her leg.
Yes.
And the first time I made the joke, when I came to edit it, I started feeling a bit kind of like, should I do this? Should I keep this up? Should I keep going? Because obviously, you know, I was concerned about upsetting people with genuine disabilities. And then was like, wait, no, hang on. She's completely insane.
Yes.
She did this to herself.
Yes.
No, I'm going to carry this on, and I'm just going to say, like, I'm just going to put, like, a silly little caption on to imply this doesn't affect, this isn't, meant to be directed towards anyone who's got a problem with their legs in any way. This is just directed at Mayo specifically.
Yeah, it's
but I wasn't going to elaborate
have,
on it until the end of the game.
It's different when you have a genetic disorder, or you had a legitimate accident, or whatever. Bitch is crazy.
Yes. That was my justification. I was like,
So,
well, she did it to herself, so
yeah.
she deserves it.
There's no apologizing for Mayu. Bitch is
Yeah.
crazy. She did it to herself. End of story.
But yeah, I do want to clarify that that was the reason I kept that joke going. And it got more absurd anyway.
Yeah.
The whole thing
That's
about
why you can't read.
Yeah, exactly. You can't read because of your leg somehow.
I wouldn't be surprised if she couldn't read.
Mm.
She's probably so dependent on Mio that she can't read. I wouldn't be surprised at all. It's probably implied somewhere.
And of course, that Let's Play is the first time that I've actually beaten Sai. Because I think when I attempted like the full 100% before, like just in my own time, I got to the Sai fight and didn't realize that Mayu just jumps at you.
Yeah.
At the beginning, and then of course you've got to do all of the other stuff again. And I was like, do you know what? Nope. I'll come back to this at some point.
Genuinely surprised you weren't suspicious of her when you got down to that room. I mean, come on. She you know she's possessed. Come on now.
I think I just wasn't expecting it to just be so sudden, like just jump in my face, like an instant death as well.
Well, Fatal Frame games are notorious for their instant death bullshits.
And when I got grabbed by Sai in the fight, I was like, for God, no! But it turns out that in that fight, she's not a one-hit kill.
No.
I think she takes up a lot of health, but...
Yeah. And I think probably depending on difficulty, it can be a one-hit kill. I can't
Maybe in Nightmare mode it might be.
But what did you think of the fight, generally?
It's a very good fight. It's a little bit tedious in the fact that you're just standing around waiting for it to just drop a shield a lot of the time.
Yeah, that's true. She probably could have been handled a little better. Between like the first 3 games, her fight is a little
But I think like the sound design is probably some of the best in that fight, just because the dual dialogue.
Yeah.
And she'll always worry about me. Coming through. Just stuff like that, I really enjoy it. And just like I said, I think Fatal Frame 2 is maybe the best in the series. I think the first game is definitely scarier.
Yes.
But I think in terms of just
in terms
of
story,
I
Fatal
think
Frame 2 is superior.
Because I definitely had a lot of fun making this Let's Play, because just putting all that together and like researching the storylines.
Yeah, I feel like the second game has a lot of in-depth secondary characters, unlike some of the other games. First game kind of has it with like the research team, but you really don't give a shit about them. And third game has all kinds of secondary characters, but there's only like 1 or 2 that really go in depth.
And I also do like the subtle links with the first game that they do.
Definitely.
Just like they don't really spell it out. It's more kind of you have to suddenly realize, oh wait, that name, I recognize that name. And then of course you put the pieces together and you realize that the Yae in the second game is the Yae from the first one.
Yep.
Not just 2 people with a different name, with the same name. They're the same person. Well, you've watched the Let's Play. What did you think?
I think you did a great job, and I really liked how you integrated just what was going on, like the differences between the 2 games, the extra ghostless peoples that you can get.
Yep.
I just thought it added a nice touch, because there are plenty of people who play a game once and then won't pick it up again. And this kind of gives you a peek into what you would be missing, the little nuances that would change.
Yep.
The only other thing that you could really do is, if you were feeling masochistic, is doing all those challenge things. But they're assholes.
Yeah.
In all 3 games. And I think they're like the only way you can get like the festival lens in some of the games, which is like fatal frames all the time. And also you get extra costumes and stuff.
I think the only thing that I would have done to maybe improve the Let's Play is for some of the optional side quest type ghosts, maybe
the kids and stuff.
If I'd looked up how to get the fatal frames on them better. I think with the kids it's fine, but I think there's like, what's his name? The research. Yeah, him.
Yeah.
Masumi.
That's the name.
I didn't get a fatal frame on him, and I wish I'd like actually looked up how to do that.
I don't even remember how you get it on him. I mean, most of them you can kind of infer it, but I don't remember specifically.
Yeah, I think there's him and the doll maker are both like they've got very specific ways of getting the fatal frame.
Yeah.
I can't remember if I got the one on the doll maker or not. I think I tried it, but he just wasn't
I think
playing
he
along.
might have gotten it later on.
Mm.
I think, but I someone can correct me if they feel the inclination.
I also fought for ages trying to think what should I do to kind of illustrate what the New Game Plus stuff is, like make it stand out from the rest of it. And I think I went through like library music and stuff, trying to find something that would work, and then eventually just went, you know what, why don't I just use the save point music?
Yeah, it was perfect.
And it works.
I mean, considering the fact that you tend to cut out when you save anyway, you're not really going to hear that noise any other time, so it's a good way to break it up and be like, hey, this is something else.
Mm-hmm. And that was something I realised, because it's not, I always cut out the saving. You're not going to hear that music in my Let's Play any other way. So, and there's also the very subtle differentiation, and I don't know if anyone noticed this until I pointed it out, but Mio is wearing glasses in every single New Game Plus clip.
I noticed.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the first unlocked accessories you can get for the girls.
Yep, you get it just from beating the game, and you can just equip Mio with glasses, and I thought that was a nice little subtle hint that this is not the main playthrough, this is the New Game Plus thing. And I was so glad that it actually the glasses show up in cutscenes.
Yeah, all their outfits do. That's
So
one
when
of
it
the
reached-
things that I love about the Fatal Frame series is that the outfits are reflected in cutscenes.
But yeah, I had a lot of fun doing that Let's Play. It was great. It's not been the most popular, I've noticed, but I still enjoyed doing it.
It's not necessarily about popularity, and plus, as you know, in discussions we've had, horror is kind of niche. And it's not like you're gonna go ahead and be all scare cam, and no, it's the experience. And
Plus, I think like my LP is probably being forced in the results by much bigger Let's Players who've done it.
yeah,
I know that there's like that guy has done a Let's Play of it because it kept turning up in the recommendations for my videos, and I was like, could you get off my videos, please? 'Cause he's one of those that I really don't like.
yeah, well,
I think I did try watching one part of it just to see what he did, and he is just one of those typical, like, I've got a scare cam, and oh my god, everything is scary. I'm like, stop it.
I've grown to much prefer the more informational LPs like you did with this, because like it makes it a full experience at that point. Like if I feel like being spooked, I'll go play the game and be spooked myself. But ultimately, a lot of the reason why I watch a Let's Play is because, one, I like the game already and I like the person doing it, or two, I'm interested in the game and kind of want to see if it's something I would like to purchase and play myself.
I mean, there's nothing necessarily wrong with someone playing a horror game and like seeing their reactions to certain things in it, but my issue is more just the way it's being played up.
Yeah, and then you also run into the issue of people spending so much time just being spooked and then getting lost in the game for extended periods of time, and it's just like, wow, this is boring.
Because they're so focused on, oh, I've got to like be scared as scared as possible because that's what people want, and I think it's like you've got to pace things properly. You can't just like you can't just pretend to be on edge the whole time because it's not entertaining. If like you're just happily wandering along and then suddenly something jumps out at you and you just like cower in fear from that, and then you calm down from it and come back, that kind of has a better pacing to it. But there's only really the only bit in the Let's Play where I'm like freaked out at any point is the Sai bit,
which is understandable.
and I was genuinely just like, "Hi Joe, get away, go away." No, because she runs so close to you.
She really does. You have to like kind of already know which way she's going to be coming at you, or else you're going to walk right into her face.
Yep. And it's just the fact that you keep having to go back and forth. They force you to do that.
I'm kind of surprised they didn't put in like a chase mechanic with it instead of just what they did and had her like tied to a room.
It's definitely a great bit just from an atmospheric standpoint, because the fact that I knew it was coming, and the 3 times I played it, I was just as terrified each time. So yeah, what you were seeing in the video, my fear was real.
Yeah. I guess my question is, are you considering doing the third game? Whoa!
I may have mentioned that somewhere towards the end of the thing, of the second one.
Can't you just answer the question?
I probably will.
Yeah.
Probably not soon, but it's definitely something I will consider at some point.
It's definitely the longest of the three.
Mm.
There's a lot to do.
Mm-hmm.
And there's plenty of questionable shenanigans to be had with Miku.
Yes, yeah. Because I mean, like, obviously Tomb Raider's going to be next, and I don't really want to just do Fatal Frame again after doing that.
Yeah,
I'd rather
that
do
makes
something
sense.
different.
And you tend to do one game at a time anyway.
Yep.
It's your thing, except when you did the travel.
Yes.
Travel
The adventure travelogue.
Yeah.
Although elements of that are going to be retained for Tomb Raider 3.
Woo!
Because people liked the facts. Well, facts in quotes.
I like the facts.
And they, because they were so popular and people enjoyed them, I'm like, might as well bring them back.
Do it.
It added to the fun of Tomb Raider 2, and that's definitely one of the best LPs I've done. I think.
know, I'm pretty obsessed with your...
Oh, 4's definitely
yeah,
still a good one.
that was my gateway drug.
How many times have you watched that?
Too many? No, never enough. Never enough. I don't know. It's probably going up into double digits at this point.
Yeah, I enjoyed doing the Fatal Frame Let's Play, and I will definitely do the third one at some point. Don't know when though.
Hopefully it's inspired some people who have not ever played the game to actually look into it, because it is a worthwhile experience. Like we were saying, not necessarily everyone is into the horror genre, to each their own, but it's definitely worth a peek if you are willing to jump down that rabbit hole.
Yep. So and for people who maybe have played Smash 4 and then unlocked the Mio and Mayo trophy and wondered,
Like,
who the hell are these
bitches?
Yeah. They look it up and
Just don't play the remake, because one, it's a remake, and two, I freaking love the ending theme of Fatal Frame 2. It's amazing, and you had happened to tell me, oh yeah, they did a new one for the remake. I'm like, what?
Yep.
And I actually really like the work that this woman does, because all of the themes she has done thus far have been great, and I have proudly, phonetically belted these songs in my car while I've been running around doing stuff. And I looked up the remake of the song, and I'm like, wow, this is shit. It's all weird and poppy and upbeat. I'm like, no, inappropriate first for a Fatal Frame game, because everything's a bad end. And two, just the first one just has such great atmosphere and emotion.
Yep.
Like, oh my god. And the second one's weird too, because like they had like this haunted house feature thing, kind of like the Ju-on Wii game where you can be the second player and be all like, I'm gonna spook you. Just don't do that.
And there's also the fact that because it never got an American release, it got localized in the UK, and it's got really terrible British accents all the way through it. It's like, didn't we always promise each other that we would always be together?
No.
That's how it comes across. I'm like, this doesn't work. It definitely is my favourite survival horror series.
Oh yeah, no question. I'm right there with you. That's why I'm so pumped that the fifth one's coming. Yeah. Yep.
and if I get the ability to record a Wii U at some point, I'll probably do that one as well.
Do it, do it, do it. Peer pressure.
So yeah, that's pretty much everything. So Fatal Frame 2 is done, and it was fun, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it. And yeah, that's basically it for this week, really. And probably for a few weeks. Probably won't see me again till August at this point.
Stay tuned for when we cosplay as Mio and Mayu.
Oh, you.
What? You could totally do it. It'd be great. You want to be Mio or you want to be Mayu?
We'll see.
Okay.
So, I guess we'll leave it there. And like I said, I will see you guys in August. And, Look after yourselves, guys. Bye.
See ya!